So welcome to the Natural Balance Masterclass. My name is Neal, and to start, I'm going to read the Natural Balance mission statement. And in and through natural balance, we assist people in expressing and receiving and embodying balance and cooperation. So that's like what natural balance is all about. And I invite you to just close your eyes and let's take a deep breath in, let it all go. Deep breath in, let it all go. Another deep breath in, let it all go. Deep breath in, let it all go. Deep breath in, let it all go. And on this next inhale, we're going to hold the breath at the top. So deep breath in and hold. And then we'll hold this for as long as possible. And then just do a really slow, easy exhale. And with that exhale, just find yourself in the present moment, letting go of anything that's happened earlier today, anything, any task you feel like you might want to complete, just letting those all fall away and just landing solidly, being fully grounded in the present moment, allowing the mind to be still, opening up the heart to receive and express, and then opening your eyes and being present as you are ready. So I'm gonna share how I'm feeling, and how I'm feeling is like I feel like keyed up, like like an inspired state, and it's very uplifting, and like there, it feels like there's movement happening within me that wants to express outside of me. I wasn't even aware that I was feeling this until I started talking about it. And prior to this class, I literally just got off a phone call with my parents, and like just feeling so much gratitude for them and for where they're at and for where they're going, which is in the direction of truth. And feeling my mother's heart, feeling my father's heart, hearing my father laugh, hearing my mother laugh, and um, telling them I love them, and then them receiving it. So I'm filled in this moment with a lot of gratitude and this this energy of movement within my body, which I feel that this movement energy is not something that's like necessarily particular to this moment, but I feel it's a pattern of my emotional state where I feel this inspiration and I feel like a need to express. And so I feel this movement that I'm feeling, it's familiar, and I feel it's coming as a reflection of my emotional home.
Is
So
your emotional
that's
what? Is your emotional
my
what? I meant
my emotional home.
home.
Yes. Um, so that's what I'm feeling. I'd like to check in with you, Noel, and how are you feeling, Noel?
It's interesting because the home word, I have, let me see, in the moment, I guess I'm feeling some sadness. I'm feeling some, I just feel a little like my parts have been thrown up in the air and they've fallen down on the ground and they're not in a coherent whole. And I am relying on faith to know that that's perfect. And so when you said home, I don't feel home, but I feel like the truth is I am home. I mean, I know in my head the truth is I am home, but I don't feel home. I feel discombobulated and a little fearful because of it. So I think that's where I am, and that's somewhat been a general state lately. As I find my balance. I find my zero.
Hmm. Is there more there that you would like to speak to?
I have a sense of being very, very loved through this journey. I have a sense of connection with Christ and God, who I had known for a long time as dearly beloved mother, father, lover, friend, God. That was the way that I referred to God. I'm adjusting to call God the Father. Um, but in any case, I don't feel alone in this. I feel kind of sad and not not landed, but I don't feel alone, which I'm grateful for. So I'm grateful too.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So we're gonna start and begin in the exact same with the exact same thing. So right now, we're going to do an exercise and we'll have 3 minutes to complete the exercise. And the exercise is uh, so be feeling into this, and then we're just not going to take any action until I say go, and then we'll have 3 minutes to complete it. So it's one clear action step to generate balance and cooperation in my life and in your life. And so I'm going to find one clear action step for me to generate balance and cooperation in my life. And then I'll be responsible for accomplishing this task next week or this action step. And you'll find one for you, and then you'll be responsible for implementing and accomplishing and taking the action step that you choose. So is that clear?
Yeah, if you don't mind repeating action step, I know the word balance was in there, but by the end of it I lost the direction.
So one clear action step to generate balance and cooperation in my life.
Okay.
So you may want to write some things right now. Just allow the inspiration to build up and be feeling into this moment. be feeling into the emotions that you just described and how you're feeling, and be feeling into how you can take an action to cultivate balance and cooperation in your life this coming week. And I'm implementing the same exercise.
Okay.
So we have 3 minutes. Go. So we've got like 50 seconds remaining. Just keep on feeling into it and writing ideas. And now looking at 40 seconds. Time. All right. You may have a couple. You may just have one. Do you have a couple or do you have two?
Yeah,
So,
I, yep, go ahead.
of those two, choose one that would cultivate the most balance and cooperation in your life this coming week.
Okay.
Got it? All right. I'm going to share mine, and um, the one that I I wrote for, and the one that's really resonating is because this last week I've been feeling like this, like I've really worked my tail off last week. Um, I've exerted a lot of physical energy, I've exerted a lot of mental energy, and it's led to not taking care of my physical body. Like there were times when I took rushed showers, just things. This past week has been a lack of self care for Neal. So I'm committing to additional self care. So the thing that I chose was to ask for assistance in collecting and delivering camping supplies to Grace 2 this week. Because if I do it all by myself, it's a lot. It's like massive. But if I have assistance, I can actually take care of myself and receive. So that's the action step I have, and now what do you have?
The one that was most powerful for me was patience, which I actually got as a God direction recently. And I got it for this reason, and I haven't exactly been honoring it too well. It says, honor where I am. When I notice any tendency to judge myself, pause, breathe, drop inside, and love me. Invite God. So I think that would be very helpful for balance and cooperation inside me.
Yes. And the thing with when we cultivate balance and cooperation inside of us, our outside is a direct reflection of our inside. So when we cultivate balance and cooperation within us, our external reflects balance and cooperation. And my soul really enjoys and feels gratitude and has inspiration and experiences love when I'm interacting with balanced and cooperative people, situations, words, environments. Like my soul is just like, oh, it's home. There's balance here. There's cooperation here. It's here I am. So we'll keep that answer we just received, and we don't need to do anything with it right now. We'll just set that aside. And um, my next question to you, Noel, is what way of being would you be if you were balanced and cooperating with reality?
I think I would be living water. Water comes to mind. I just would be like a natural, pure, moving, God created substance. Um, just flowing naturally and providing, naturally. And got a lot of conscious thought, just simply, existing as created.
Mm, wow, that hits home. What else?
Yes, it feels like in that the light of that I would be a tributary and I would be heading in a direction, and the direction I would be heading in is the ocean, and where we are all becoming one, all the tributaries that are moving as pure water in a direction that our natural being directs as created, and we're heading to the ocean. And it's an interesting thought because then, do we become undifferentiated oneness? I don't think that is the plan yet, but perhaps we're all on this journey together. And I don't know, I guess the metaphor will go so far, but I don't know, it's interesting because I'm seeing that, and there's feels like there is joy in that, and I am simultaneously feeling this sadness. So it's what's going on.
When I feel into that, the way of being for me to be balanced and cooperative is to um, have balance between the masculine and the feminine aspects of myself. So to not be overly um, pendulated towards being in flow, and um, to to also have channels and So having that balance with the masculine and the feminine, um, receiving, yes, and also giving, yes. So balance in the opposites. So it looks like balancing the opposites within myself, and the way of being that I would be when those aspects are balanced, is a generator of love and cooperation to flow out of. And with these balanced aspects of opposites, because they're balanced, they're not fighting against each other. And it's just like this arrow that's straight and it's direct and it's moving in a direction. And the way of being that's moving in that direction is a cooperative being. It's a being who has knowing of where they're headed. They're not like, am I going this way or that way? No, it's just like, oh, we're going this way. And then so it's a being that has direction. They have purpose. How I would be like grateful for all things all the time, and I would recognize oneness, and that's that's the way of being that comes up when I feel of being balanced and cooperative. So I'm gonna leave that there and ask. First of all, I'm gonna ask the question, and then I'm gonna answer the question as it is for me, and then I'm gonna see what you have available. The question is, what are you here for? And that's a general question. And I'm going to give a specific answer to my general question. And the specific answer is I'm here to be fully authentic and to express love in the moment. And what that looks like, what that doesn't look like, how it shows up as, how it doesn't show up as, it's none of my business. It's just be present, be authentic, receive love, and express love. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for on this planet. That's what I'm here for in this village. That's what I'm here for in this masterclass. I'm here to be authentic and to receive and express love in the moment. So what are you here for, Noel? And this is a general question. You can answer it generally or specific.
I am what I got so far is I am here in service of what created me and what I believe expresses as me and through me. And I'm here to remove the debris so that thing is pure and can fully manifest its purpose. And I really don't know what that is. And like you said, it's in a way, it doesn't feel like it's my business. Um, I believe it is love. I believe it is about inviting, finding my way home and inviting others home. And I don't know that. I just, I see it in John. I see a reflection of what I think is something that will be true for me, that I will be very little else but God at some point. And that is my desire. And I cannot, I could sort of, paint a fairy tale picture, but I don't have the slightest clue in some ways what I'm expecting is going to look like or feel like. I just feel like it's when they describe in the Course in Miracles, there's just no words to describe where you're heading. That you don't. I think that's one of the reasons I think in terms of the ocean, it's just so vast. And I don't, I do feel like it's somehow bringing that vastness onto the planet so we can embody it and play with our toys finally. Here we have this material world that we just always abused. So it has something to do with living as God here, and playing with one another like the children of God that we are. So something like that.
I feel that it's a service of the being that made you, and to remove anything in you that is stopping that service.
Degrading that service is the biggest challenge that I have now. It's just been so
Yes.
habit pattern for so long.
So I'm going to now ask another question. So that was a question, what are you here for? Now the question is, what does your soul want? And they may very well be the same answer. Um, for me, it's different. What my soul wants is to live in a world of balance and cooperation. Um, it's to live in community. It's to live a purposeful life where I only interact with people that are moving in the same direction that I'm moving. Um, and so I actually, in what my soul wants in this new life, in this life that my soul wants, I actually love being around people because we're congruent, like we're oscillating at the same frequency and moving in a similar direction. Um, my soul wants unification with God, uh, to experience through feeling and seeing oneness most of the time. That's what my soul wants, and my soul wants to serve other people, and it wants to be a contribution for the manifestation and creation of the world that I just articulated. So that's what my soul wants. What does your soul want, Noel?
Yeah, I think my soul wants pretty much what I expressed before. I want to live in service of, it's just it feels like, simply I want to live the life I was created to live because that's where my joy and anything I can do to contribute to everyone else's joy exists. So that's what my soul wants.
That's congruent. So the reason you're here for, and what your soul wants is completely aligned. Um, so when you answer the question of what you're here for, I imagine it was your soul speaking what you're here
Could be I keep going in and asking, and I don't know differentiation of soul and heart and Christ and God, and it all seems like one thing to me in some regard. So I just go in and say, "What's the answer? What's the answer?"
for. If you would like to give an answer, feel into an answer for now. What does my mind want? And my mind wants to isolate Neal. Um, my mind wants no interaction with people. My mind would have Neal live by himself. My mind would stockpile food and water and goods and just live out my life comfortably. If my mind had its way, that's what it would do and implement. My mind does not care about other people, and my mind would use people to accomplish what I just spoke. Um, my mind wants nothing except to control every aspect of its life. That's what my mind wants. What does your mind want?
Interesting because it's just like my mind, as you define your mind, my mind feels like, my mind is Satan. My mind, my mind, wants me in utter subjection to beliefs that I am, utterly irredeemable, completely fucked up, never going to get it. And I don't, that's not even my truth, you know, generally. Right now, when I talk about, well, my parts are up in the air and have fallen down, and, right now it's a little bit discombobulated like that. But if we're talking about that, like that egoic identity, that mind, it is not faring well at considering giving up, just being, a waste product. And at this point in time, that just seems to be what's on top. So, my mind would also have me isolating. It would have me out of here, man. I would not be in this freaking place. It is definitely not at home here. And it's such an odd thing to have, like, some part of my experience be so rich in gratitude, and also like feeling completely unsafe. My mind does not feel safe here. Um, and my mind would find ways to judge the people here, and consider that, this is, and they're just diddling themselves forever in this kind of, bring up the pain kind of way. And uh yeah, my mind would have me go somewhere safe, and I had engineered a life like that. It was quite wonderful and safe, and lovely, loving. There was a lot of great things about it. I liked where I was. So the juxtaposition of this very, I could isolate when I wanted to, I could socialize when I wanted to. I was, in my own space. I had tasks to do that were meaningful. So, I mean, I had a good life. I did not have a God life to the extent that I'm going to here. So my mind is not like this as much as that. Get me the fuck out of here. I keep trying not to curse, but occasionally it just feels like the right thing to do in the moment. That's what my mind is thinking.
Yes. Is your mind the one cursing, or is it your soul the one cursing?
Uh, well, my mind is the one that wants to get out of here, so it sounded like it was my mind.
Mm. Um, all right. So your mind wants one thing and your soul wants another thing. And now here I am looking at what my mind wants and looking at what my soul wants. And now I get to choose what I identify with. Um, Am I going to identify with my mind, with my brain, and then take the action that my brain and my mind want? Or am I going to identify as a soul that has a brain and a mind and observe what the mind wants, observe what the soul wants, and then make a soul-based decision? Um, so right now, in this moment, I'm declaring and committing to making soul-based commitments and decisions. Um, and because of that, I am in the process of manifesting what my soul wants, and it brings me to the question of, for you, Noel, what does natural balance look like to you?
I'll just share that differentiation right there just brought some peace in so that I'm not in a state of sadness anymore. I don't know, what that means, but it was such a nice, clear light on the difference between, what feels so God driven and given and this other aspect that is just, clearly so say the question again.
So what what does natural balance look like to you?
I think right now what come is coming is natural balance is the soul and its purpose and its desires and its forward movement, and what I am experiencing of the mental that and it's like finding a beautiful dance, and I do use this a lot of times, but to oh, here's an opportunity, there's a bite from the mind, and it is apparently, trying to take me away from the purpose and the vision, the fulfillment of the God course. And like, just like let me, like you would if you had some misbehaved dog, you just like, I'm working with you right now. I'm gonna, deal with what I need to deal with so that your needs are met in the moment in some kind of reasonable way. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity. What am I going to use this for? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to, be the master, not be dragged by some freaking rude dog. Something like that. It's balance.
Okay. How does cooperation fit into that, and does it fit into that?
And now I'm seeing it like a hierarchy of God and my soul, and my lesser functions like my mind, and cooperation is like an upward movement, just, looking up so that I can have the wisdom. Another way it could be looked at as having the source flowing up as though I were a fountain, but I just, at this point, it feels like looking up. And so um I can't do this alone. I don't have to, just like any kind of addiction, I don't have what it takes to in willpower to deal with the momentum of the habit of hurting myself. But I can cooperate with God. That's what I got.
So what I'm hearing is that it's a cooperation with God, which is an upwards movement, a looking up, like not listening to the mind, to the brain, but it's cooperating with God, looking upwards. That's what I heard in what you shared.
Yeah, and it just the way it came. Yes, that's the way it came, and it just feels right because I think I somehow I'm trying to wrangle this beast by myself, and I don't have what it takes. I can't do just like you and your feet. You know, I don't know that I really, really have put on the altar just the whole construct of hurting myself. I don't know that I've quite done that yet, So I'm another action step I'm taking.
All right. So does natural balance, so think of natural balance as a brand and have it be something that exists inside and outside of this masterclass. So when you think of natural balance, it's a movement of balance and cooperation in the hearts of the people. So it's in this space, yes, and how it's in this space is because it's in our hearts. And now that natural balance is in our hearts, and you can see it here in this space, but also every person you meet has natural balance inside of them in their hearts. And looking at it from that context, does natural balance contribute to you creating and magnetizing what your soul wants?
Yes.
And then the follow-up question is how is natural balance a contribution in you creating and magnetizing what your soul wants?
Well, I don't know if this is, just seems like on my goal of being zero and just nothing but what God created, that balance is, I also feel like somewhere along the way that it's what God created is everything. So, but what I was saying before that came was this idea that on the way to zero, especially for somebody who's been so far on the spectrum in one direction and then the other of, maggot messiah kind of thing. Natural balance just is bringing me closer and closer, to zero. But also it has, remember when Bianca was just talking about how she kind of landed in neutrality and then everything was present, the whole gamut. So you could the entirety of the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful, it was just all present and it was all something she could embrace in peace. So I think natural balance is a way to embrace all of God's creation in peace.
Yes, it's a way, but what I'm asking here is specifically how does natural balance contribute to you, Noel, um, in magnetizing and creating what your soul wants? So it is that. It's all of what you spoke to for the people that it's serving, and that's general. What I'm really looking at now is specifically how does natural balance contribute to you, Noel, in magnetizing and creating what your soul wants?
Well, that was kind of what my soul wanted.
Mm, okay.
Oh, that's what
So,
my soul wants.
okay.
If I get, down into like, everyday, living, there might be another way of expressing it, but that was kind of where I went with where, what does my soul want?
Okay. I received that. So you spoke generally, and in your generalization, you specifically were in that.
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
that accurate?
that whole thing about, zeroing out so that I can just be present for whatever guidance shows up in the moment, just to live as an expression. Let me be the color mauve, if that's what God made me, purely mauve. That's what I am. That's what I do, and that's how, balance and, that could magnetize that for me specifically.
So, what would that look like for natural balance to assist you in becoming zero and becoming balance, into merging with oneness, into the God created everything, into the neutrality, and into the entirety where all the emotions are present? Like, how specifically does natural balance assist you in your journey, to accomplish that?
One thing it does specifically for me is it takes the whip out, that it's just part of, the seesaw of life, that it's just natural balance. You have a mind. Your mind does what it does. You have a soul. Your soul does what it does. Just uh, it seems like the term natural balance invites the idea that all things can exist in their, especially when you add the cooperation piece in their, there is a place and a space for all things under God's kingdom, whatever. I don't know if
Okay.
I'm getting to the root of this or not, but
I feel you are. What I wrote was recognizing and illuminating the brain and the soul, without judgment, and coming from a space of love and cooperation, while recognizing and illuminating the brain and the soul.
that's
Um,
very good.
that that's what I received from what you said. So now we're gonna do the exercise that we did at the beginning, and we'll have 3 minutes to just write as many things that we can think of. And the exercise is one clear action step to generate balance and cooperation in my life. And we'll just make a list. So just allow your inspiration to build. And when I say go, we'll have 3 minutes. And these can be new ones, or they can be same ones that you already wrote. So we have 3 minutes. One clear action step to generate balance and cooperation in my life. Go. You got like 50 seconds left. Time. So it's 555 right now. 555 represents big change, positive change. Something in your life is changing for the better right now in this moment.
I got
Um,
5 fingers and I got 5 responses.
that's alignment. So, with the alignment you're experiencing right now, take a moment and just fill into your 5 responses and circle the number one that's going to promote the highest amount of balance and cooperation.
Think it was number 5, and I'm not sure that exactly what the action step looks like. I guess I wrote the thing and didn't think really about it, but it was simply love myself. And
Okay. So, what I chose this time was to sing twice per week with Tao calligraphy, which is chakra activation.
ah,
Um, so, now you have two circled answer, one from the beginning of the class and one from the end of the class. And now from those two answer, choose one that'll be the final and third answer that will promote the most balance and cooperation in your life for this following week.
well, the two were actually perfect because love myself. These are the steps. The other one was patience, honor where I am. When I notice any tending to judge myself, pause, breathe, drop inside, and love me. Invite God. So that is the action step of the love myself. That was the other one.
It's like they're connected.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're one.
Yes. So
They are one. I'm gonna take out the almost. And so this is now our homework. So your homework is to love yourself and what'd you write?
just have patience, honor where I am. When I notice any tendency to judge myself, pause, breathe, drop inside, and love me. Invite God.
So that's your homework for this upcoming week. And just feel into it, notice it, become the homework. Um, let it just move through you and move you and alter the way you see, alter the way you interact, and come this following week prepared to share how that was like for you. And my homework is to ask for assistance in collecting and delivering camping supplies to Grace too. So that's my homework. I'll be implementing that this week and seeing what fruits this produces, what results are accomplished. And I'm going to implement an element of your homework into mine, which is no matter what the results, I'm going to love myself. So I'm adding that. Um, we're right at 5:59. I feel complete. I thank you, Noel, wholeheartedly, whole-mindedly, with every cell of my body for being here, for saying yes to yourself, because you're not here for me, you're here for you. And as you're here for you, you're contributing to me. And so I acknowledge you for showing up for yourself. You could be doing anything at any time, and you're here right now. Thank you. And with that, that concludes this first class.
Thank you, Neal. A beautiful gift.